Welcome to Petit Fours and Purls in Lehi, Utah. We are just south of Salt Lake City and we have something special in store today. We're not only going to tour the yarn store, but we are also going to have a lovely tea.
Hi, I'm Camara.
I'm Katie.
And welcome to Petit Fours and Purls.
So let's take a tour of the store. So we've just come up the stairs and we're in the front and we're here. So what do we got?
Well, you walk in and hopefully one of us is standing here or coming from the other room and saying hello, welcome. We've got our teas right here and our baked goods. So we are a tea store as well and do tea parties. So our baker keeps our Petit Fours and cookies and scones up on our shelves all the time. But
wait, dumb question.
Okay.
What is a Petit Four?
It's a funny question, actually. It's a French word for little oven is what it technically means.
Okay.
And it was back when they were baking in like brick ovens. It would take an hour or whatever to get the brick oven hot. And then after it's hot and you're done baking for the day and you stop feeding the fire, it stays warm for a good period of time, but it doesn't stay warm enough to like bake a loaf of bread. Mm-hmm. So what they would do is whatever was like left in the bowl of they would scrape it and then put it on the brick and they'd make little cakes and they called them Petit Fours for the little oven. And they were just like the little treats that the kids would enjoy. And then it became like a tradition with the English decided this was amazing because they're little cakes and started serving it with their teas. And so Petit Fours arrived and it's actually Petit Fours is the correct way to say it with it because the French pluralize both words. So if you're saying it's little's ovens basically, which sounds silly. So Americanized, we say Petit Four because that sounds stupid to us, right? So that's where Petit Fours come from. So they are small pieces of cake, but they are intense and richly flavored.
I love
that. We have chocolate and vanilla. We have key lime coconut and raspberry lemonade.
Oh my gosh.
We go through different like seasonal flavors. So we always have the chocolate and vanilla, but we'll have different, like we did carrot cake for Easter time and we do pumpkin when it's fall. We did a peach cobbler flavor. So we do lots of different flavors, just whatever inspires Nicole is what comes out on the cakes.
I just love you can see like right into the kitchen.
You can say hi to Nicole and get a treat. So that's there.
Very
and then
cool.
Our needles and notions wall is behind you when you walk in.
Great.
So you should walk in and just see yarn.
Yeah, you come in and you see Petit Fours and Purls. Yep. And you have this really cute display with the teacups.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
The worsted weights are in the center. We do the DK fingering and chunky is in the second room. Mm-hmm. So we have it organized by weight so you can find what you need quickly. Awesome. But we're always happy to help you find what you need as well.
Very cool. We can walk around here and see. Oh, these are beautiful.
This is the watercolor artist. A local one. We had a trunk show fall through, so we did a maker's market, and we contacted her, and she came and did all of these displays. And so we buy cards from her, and then she'll come and do classes about once every quarter and teach you how to watercolor like she does. So it's really cool.
Neat. Love that.
And then,
so you said DK.
This is all DK. This is worsted over here. And moving into the errands, those are a little bit thicker with the errands. Perfect. And then fingering on that back wall that's looking a little skimp right now. We need to order some more. And we try to have lots of samples as well so that you can look at what can be made. You can see the yarn in action, right? So that you can see what it looks like after it's been worked up.
That's beautiful. Wait, speaking of, what are you wearing today? Because you've got like a full-on knit and crochet outfit. Yeah. I love it.
My crochet cardigan is one I kind of cobbled together on my own. The yarn couldn't make up its mind what it wants to be. Sometimes the yarn makes up its mind and you don't get to decide. I had tried like 4 different patterns with this yarn and none of it was looking the way I wanted it to. It was pooling weird. It just wasn't feeling it. I had gotten all the way to splitting the sleeves on a crocheted sweater and just hated it. And so I ripped it out for the 4th time and was like, you're just going to be granny squares because I don't know what to do with you. So I started making just little 3-row granny squares and still at that point had no idea what I was going to
Oh
do with
my
it when I
gosh.
finished it. But I thought maybe I'll put it together for a blanket. I don't know, I'll decide. And then I realized I had enough squares I could probably do a cardigan. And so I just did join as you go. I got our white, it's that cotton right there, the mod cotton DK. Because this one was a DK yarn I'd gotten from a yarn store in St. George. And did join as you go and just kind of made a basic square-ish cardigan shape. And it worked, and it came out great.
So clever. It looks amazing.
And then this one is the Surrey shirt. And of course, I forgot the designer.
That's okay.
I didn't go check it up.
We'll find it. Did you do your earrings too?
I did do these earrings with just crochet cotton around some hoops. They're really fun. So
adorable. Wait, and you have something in your hair.
Oh, that one's one of the
Is it the Sophie?
woolen pine? Woolen pine hair accessories. I thought they were so cute, and I actually wear those all the time too, and get lots of people that comment on those as well. So
I love that.
They're fun and they're fast. They're like you can use your little scraps to do a hair tie, and then you can wear it. So it's fun.
So fun. Okay, I see some markers here.
Yep, that's a local lady that she comes in and she'll get us new markers all the time. There's so many cute ones. There's like the space one, and she does themes throughout the year as well. So around Christmas, you'll see more Christmas ones, and in the summertime, you'll see like watermelons and things like that. So lots of fun, cute little.
What about these little things?
This is another local. We try and get as much consignment from local people as well, so we can fill our shelves. It's good for us and it's good for them. They can sell their stuff, and we have full shelves. So she makes these cute little bags. And I love that they open so completely that you can really get in there and see everything that's in there when you're searching for your,
that's so
needle
cool.
or your scissors or anything. So we've got bags from a couple of different makers.
Very nice.
All of the little bits and bobs.
And then you said through here was the bulkier?
Yeah, the bulky yarns are there.
Okay.
We don't do a whole lot of bulky. We used to have some jumbo yarns, but they just didn't sell. So this blanket is made out of one of the jumbos that we had. And it was really fun to do, but it just didn't sell well. I'm not sure if it's because this environment, we're more hot here. We are a desert technically here in Utah.
It's 45 degrees
right?
today,
That's true. That's true.
But,
it's weird that we just don't go through as much bulky. I'd like to carry more bulky, but we don't go through it as fast. So this is our section of bulky. And then we have like a clearance rack over there for those items. T-shirts. We did some T-shirts for our local fiber fair. And it's
cute.
One sheep is knitting off of the other one's rear end.
Oh my gosh.
And he's making underwear. It's my favorite.
That's so cute.
So they're out in the field and having tea, and one of them's knitting off the other.
That's so cute.
So we have a bunch of those shirts, and then we also have some cute ones that a local lady made that's like not another word until I finish this row.
Nice.
And there's cuts of lamb and that kind of stuff. So some fun shirts.
Very cute.
And then the Creo Brew. I don't know if you've heard of Creo Brew.
What's that?
I'll have to give you some for your tea party.
Ooh.
It's a coffee alternative that's made with cacao. So the cacao beans are treated the exact same way coffee beans are treated, where they're roasted and then they're chopped up and ground. And then you put it in a French press and soak it. And it's just this like deep, dark chocolate, not hot chocolate at all. It tastes more like a coffee than it does a chocolate. So it's a really good one.
That sounds interesting.
Drink it quite regularly. It's my favorite.
Okay. I do like chocolate and I like coffee. So that sounds very good. Love that.
And then we have bags from local makers as well. So some cute project bags there.
And in this room is is it your classroom / hangout area?
Yep. Our classroom, whenever we have classes, they're definitely in here. Our stitch night is in here. And then anytime during the day, if you come in, yesterday, I think we had 4 people just sitting around the table knitting and hanging out and talking. So it's fun to just come get some social time any time of the day.
I love that.
Have consignment items. Most of them, we have our fiber for spinners, and then we have a local. This was another one from that makers market that they do like it's an apothecary. They do handmade soaps and lotions and serums and perfumes and candles, all sorts of things. So they come and fill up their spot.
Cool with it's got like
a washcloth and
it's cute.
And then we have a tatter. My mother tats.
Oh, wow.
And so we have all of her things on. We actually have her class this afternoon, so you'll get to see her in action if you want.
Yes.
And then we have some spinning kits and some like other handmade items by local makers, some hand knit, hand crocheted hats and knit hats.
See some
They're
tubes.
machine and some tubes, soft tubes and
scrunchies. Very cool. So tell us about this wall. It's so fun because I didn't see it like when I first was looking dead on at it, but each of these are giant teacups.
They're giant teacups. And our friend Christine, who is the most crafty person I've ever met, is a ceramicist and a knitter and just makes everything. And Camara asked her, can we make a giant teacup? And I think she started out making a mold from a planter and then figured out how to do the handle. But we have 24 of these throughout the shop, I think. 18 here and then some others scattered.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is glazed, painted differently. But this is our hand-dyed wall.
Okay.
And so we really love to support local dyers and indie dyers in general. So we have a number of local people, some others from out of state whose work we love. And this is where they are showcased. So like Yarn Nouveau, Yarnaceous, our local Greenwood Fiber Works, Candy Shop Yarns. We've got like a local fiber mill, some things that they've milled.
Yeah, so this is the one that we're gonna learn. Wait, is it this one?
Haven Fibers.
Yeah. Oh no, down here. We're gonna learn about it later in the video. But you were telling me y'all go on a field trip to this place, right?
We do. Bergstrom Farms. Our friend Linda has a small fiber farm. She's got Icelandic sheep, alpacas, and mohair goats, and then like an indigo garden, honeybees, just a delightful place. And so this is some of her fiber from her animals. And there's a picture of Theo, who it came from. So each skein has a picture of the animal whose fiber it is.
So cool. I love that.
So we actually get, in the summertime, we get a lot of traffic off of I-15 because we're only like 4 or 5 minutes from the interstate. And so people are just driving through yarn stores near me. We pop up. And so this has a lot of appeal to people who are traveling through and they want something local. We have some sock sets. We did a trunk show. So we like to do a trunk show like 3 or 4 times a year with the local dyer, really give them a chance to shine. They fill the classroom table with all their yarns and we try to promote it and just make it as big a deal as we can to get the most people in the shop for them. So Candy Shop Yarns, she's local.
Oh, so fun.
And then Greenwood Fiberworks here on the end is another local favorite.
Oh, wow. Okay, so tell us about these are all your patterns, right?
Yes, except for this down here. This isn't everything. I think I have 80 or 81.
Whoa.
Ravelry. So this is kind of just a sampling of the ones that are the bigger sellers or that are easy to pair yarns with.
Yeah.
So this right here is called the Antha Wrap, and it's named for my niece Samantha, who's 12 years old and is an amazing crocheter and knitter herself. So
that's so cool.
It's in marinated yarns. She's someone that I collaborate with quite a lot.
Let's walk around and see. You have some other ones like around the store, right?
I do. Like there's 2 right here actually. Okay. Like this is a Ryrie shawl. So
that's so pretty.
And it's funny when people are like, "Wait, that's that." It is.
I love it, and it's almost gone. People love that one.
Almost gone. This one called the Beryllium shawl.
That's so fun.
That's another fun one too.
You seem to like a lot of color.
I do.
And I see a lot of lace. I see a lot of slip stitches. It's so beautiful. This one's one of yours, right?
Yes, that's called the arcade shawl.
Oh, it's so nice.
And that's done in Greenwood Fiberworks. And that's really fun with the slip stitches. And then you get something crazy and colorful behind like these little windows.
I was saying it looks like window panes, like stained glass.
Yeah. What's funny is the yarn dyer suggested I name it something like the stained glass shawl.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked on Ravelry and there are 80 pages of stained glass patterns. So
What did you name it?
arcade shawl.
Arcade. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. And then this one's yours too, right?
Yeah, this is called the Highlights Wrap. And this was actually done for an Advent set that my friend who does marinated yarns did. So there are actually 24 little mini skeins broken down into 8 sets of 3.
Oh, cool.
So that's a challenge because you have a finite amount of yarn.
Right.
And how can you integrate that and make that work? So each of these color blocks is a fade. So dark to light, light to dark, dark to light. Throughout the whole thing. I'm happy with how they come out, but it's kind of stressful in December trying to get a design ready.
I can't imagine. I've always wanted to do one, but no, that's too much. Okay, some of these are yours too, right?
Yeah, these are as well. This one is called Jubilee Shawl. Wow. Again, I like slip stitches. It's cheater color work.
It's amazing. And it adds a texture to it too.
It really does. It adds more dimension.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this one is called Crossflower Shawl. And it's actually a gradient.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
But I tried to really gently
That's beautiful.
work that in from light to dark.
I love the lace. Lace and cable-y too, it looks like almost. It must be the increases and decreases.
It's just lace, but it has that
Beautiful.
effect.
Yeah.
And then this poncho over here is one of my favorites on the wall. Of everything, cables are my favorite. I think just visually you get so much pop for your effort. This is called the Snake River poncho. And I did it like some years back, but I still like it best.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
love it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Because we're going to get to have tea and we're going to dress up. There's a dress up closet. Look, what should we put on? Maybe this. What do you think? Kamara and Katie treated us to the loveliest tea party we've ever had. Not only was everything absolutely delicious, but it was also so much fun. Nicole makes everything in their kitchen right in the front of the shop, and we had a ton of leftover dessert to take home and enjoy.
Yeah. It was my idea. I wanted to open a yarn store. I wanted to do something when my kids were all in school and have some job, and I couldn't make up my mind if I wanted to go back to college or if I wanted to do something, just go get a job as like a bus driver or something. And then I realized that knitting is my passion and crochet, and that's all I ever want to do. So why not just work at a yarn store? Well, there's no yarn stores close by. They're half an hour both ways, which isn't a long trip, but when you have kids in school, that's a long way. So I decided I was just going to open one, and there's never been one in this area of Utah, North Utah County, like halfway between Salt Lake and Provo, where the bigger crowds are up in Salt Lake and down in Provo with the college students and everything. But we have a lot, like this area is growing so much.
Yes.
So I thought, why not just open one close by? So I started looking around. I was part of the Knitting Guild in Salt Lake and was going to those meetings and meeting people. And that's where I met Katie, was at Knitting Guild. And then we both live in North Utah County in this area. I'm just a mile that way and Katie's in Highland. And we realized like we live close to each other. So we started doing like stitch nights together. And I finally told her, I want to open a yarn store. And she's like, I can go and introduce you to people because Katie's a designer, if you don't know. So she designs, this is one of her designs. She designs shawls and hats and gloves and all these cute things and has been doing that for years. So she knew all the yarn store owners. So she took me on a little tour, but then the pandemic hit. And so we had to kind of put our plans on hold. Just waited to see how things were going. But right before the pandemic hit, we were on one of the tours and we went out to Park City, and on our way back, she's like, so what if I joined you and did the yarn store with you? And I was like, that would be amazing because it's so much work. So it's a lot of help to have
nice
a partner to be able to work together. And we have good, like opposite skills, if you will.
Good balance of skill sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I am more into the computer stuff, so I can do the finances, and I got all the paperwork and all of the background things that suits me better. And Katie's good with the newsletter and getting the communications out and stuff like that. So it was a really good combination for the two of us. So we found this property. It sat empty for a little while and thought it was perfect for the yarn store. And I always kind of wanted it to be a tea store as well. I always liked tea and liked throwing tea parties for my girls. I have a couple of girls. And so thought that would be a fun combination. And a friend of mine is a baker and always like would make birthday cakes for the neighborhood kids. Like we'd all pay her to make our birthday cakes. So I reached out to her one day and was like, do you want to be my full-time baker? She said, are you kidding? Yes, I would love that.
She's so amazing.
Yeah. So when she first started, she was working part-time at her other job and part-time here. And it was within a year that she had to quit the other job to work full-time for us. So it was really fun. So we've been here 3 years now. And
last May.
Yep. And March, right?
March.
Yeah,
it is May. Last March. Okay, so I started at the beginning of 2015, I think, is when I branched into knitting design. I did a lot of test knitting before, and I had adapted designs or kind of improvised some of my own things, but I always thought I could write this up, but that sounds like a pain.
It is.
So I did it.
It's totally.
It is a pain, right?
I've only done a couple things.
Yeah.
I haven't like published them, but there's so much work to just write your own notes for your own patterns.
You learn that designing and pattern writing are two different skill sets, and one is more fun than the other. You get better at them. But that was something that I could do at home, from home. You know, my kids were in school. It was just became a creative passion, you know, because as mom, anything you do is promptly undone, right? You make dinner, it's eaten, you clean things, it's made messy again. So I just liked having the chance to make beautiful things that stayed made. And so, yeah, I was really lucky that right from the get-go, I had a nice response to my patterns. I made some really solid friendships with dyers that I love to collaborate with. And so that was something I had been doing for about 5 years, I think, when I met Camara. And so I was actually teaching at a Knitting Guild workshop up in Salt Lake. And when she said that she lived near me, I was so excited because I didn't know a lot of knitters down here. So that was fun. And then as I was teaching, I was watching her and thinking like, okay, she's really good. You know, she's a really solid, intuitive knitter where she was figuring stuff out and then turning and helping her neighbors. So I was impressed with her skills. And then she told me of her dream to start the shop. And I thought, that sounds cool. And also, that sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
But as, you know, time progressed and our friendship progressed, I thought, I think that's something I could contribute to because of the patterns and because of teaching locally. Some people knew, you know, who I was. And I thought that's something that I could bring to this. And like Kamara said, I'd had a chance to meet a lot of indie dyers, shop owners and things like that. And, you know, my background ages ago was in public relations and marketing, and it was kind of fun to like actually pull that in. And I think we are a good balance of she handles more of the nuts and bolts and I get to do the creative things. And it is really nice. It would be a big task to do by yourself.
For sure. I don't know how other store owners do it on their own because it's so much work.
But between the two of us, and then we have Nicole, our baker, who's amazing. We have really amazing part-time employees who started as customers and became friends and then employees. So it is a fun work environment to be with people who kind of share your same knitting sensibilities. And then even I didn't know this when we started working, but she'd say a quote from like Parks and Rec, or then I'd say a quote from like the IT crowd, and we're like, "Can you watch that too?" Yeah. So just to be kind of on that same wavelength in terms of pop culture and humor and things like that makes it really fun. We actually, it's a priority for us to have a really robust class schedule. And so we block them out 3 months at a time. I'm just trying to get the summer block up now. But yeah, we always want to have classes going. We do the beginning knit and crochet at least twice a month. And those are the most popular because as a shop, you just can't depend on your current clientele. You need to be making new knitters and new crocheters. So that's a priority for us. So there's always classes going on, several scheduled every week. Then we have our stitch night every Thursday night. We joke that we say it's 6 to 8. It's really 6 to 9, but it's about 9:30 by the time we actually get out.
It's usually pretty late because everybody wants to hang out and be together. No one wants to leave.
Yeah. And that's been good. And we intentionally called that stitch night to be inclusive of all fiber crafts. So we have knitters, we have crocheters, we've had embroiderers, and we've had people, you know, drop spinning, wheel spinning,
all sorts, whatever you want to bring.
All sorts of things. That's been fun. And then we've done other things, like we host a watercolor workshop about every quarter with a local watercolor artist. That brings other people in. We've done, what was that, freeform weaving?
Oh, yeah.
We did before, but
like tapestry weaving. That we had a teacher, she moved away, so we haven't been able to do the class again, which is kind of sad because it was a really popular class. But we try to find other areas where there's holes in other places that we can fill. So we actually have an etiquette teacher who comes and teaches etiquette classes with the tea party portion of it for people. And she just called me yesterday and wants to like start doing like a standing etiquette class that people can book just like one seat in. And then it, instead of being, right now it's booked per group. So then you'd have to have a group of people. But when you only have one or two people, or, you know, you've got your teenager that you want to get him an etiquette class so he can be a good date or something like that. So we're excited to start offering that soon.
Yeah, so we try to be really involved with social media. Like you just have to in this day and age.
For sure.
And so we post daily. We try to keep it fun and new and relevant, but we post daily on Instagram and on Facebook. So Petit Fours Purls on Instagram and Facebook. And then we have a newsletter that goes out about twice a month. Those are the main ways that we do things. Our website, like I said, we try to keep it updated with classes or like special occasions. Like, for example, this Saturday, we're doing a Mother's Day brunch box that our baker's putting together so people can order through Thursday. Everyone will come and pick up on Saturday. We do things like that. We have a drop spindle workshop happening next week.
Visit in the fall.
We do a field trip to a local fiber farm.
It's really fun.
Bergstrom Farms. Linda's the best.
We do a grazing table for it, so you get to have dinner and watch the sunset at this gorgeous farm and play with the alpacas and the goats and the sheep.
Yeah,
I'm
glad you remembered
really
that.
Fun.
That's the funnest.
It is the best.
So we really do try to build that. Like we were just this last weekend at our local fiber fair, the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair. And we were able to kind of like host a tea garden there, sell teas and stuff.
Which that is a really big community event, in my opinion, too, that as a yarn store, we didn't want to have a booth where we're selling yarn because then we're competing against the other indie dyers who we stock. And I don't want to I don't want to get in the way of that, but I want to be there. I want to support them. And so we were talking to one of the organizers the first year that we were open, and I said that I would love to host just a hangout space, a booth that just has tables and tea and treats. Come and grab a cup of tea and a treat and have a sit and show us what you're knitting and show us what you bought and show us what you're excited to learn how to do from the fiber fair or what classes you took. And one of the organizers was like, I love this idea. We need to do this idea. So she like booked us a spot and was like, you're doing it. Here's your spot. And we threw it together last year and it went so well. We only had 5 tables last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we did 9 tables and they were full the entire time that we were there. People loved having a place to sit and hang out and socialize with each other. So it was really fun. So that's another community thing that we like to do.